Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Table Enabled. We're finishing another week. Simon Kuf Mem 140. We're still in Hilchas Kriyas HaTorah. Only three sifim. Dine Hefsek B'Berchas HaTorah. What happens? You make Berchas HaTorah, and in the middle of Kriyas HaTorah, someone stops. We'll talk about that. Aleph, Hakor B'Torah V'Nishtate. He's reading the Torah and he's silenced, meaning usually it was the minhag that the person who got the Ali used to read the Torah. So nowadays, let's say the Chazan who's reading the Torah, he prepared reading the Torah, he stops in the middle, or this person has to leave. I don't know, he has a heart attack or something like that. The person who got the Aliyah, because technically, even the person who gets the Aliyah, he's B'diavad, according to the Maharil, he's Yosef Shemaya Kaona, he has to still read the Torah. Um, so he's not able to continue. He needs to leave. He has a medical emergency. So you have to replace him. Ha'omei, the person who replaced him, you ask him, you go back to the place where the Aliyah started. The Yivarach B'tchila V'sof, you make a bracha in the beginning and the end. Because you can't continue where the person left off, because it was a different person. So his bracha, you can't be Yotze through his bracha. His bracha he made for himself. You weren't being Yotze with his bracha. So our minhag now is to make a bracha before Kriyas Torah. Every Ola before Kriyas Torah and after Kriyas Torah, you can't be Yotze with his bracha. So therefore, you have to go back to the original psukim. So your bracha should be chal on all the psukim. Well, the Rambam argues, Lo Yivarach B'tchila. He says you don't have to make a bracha B'tchila. Just continue reading and then make a bracha at the end. We don't pass him like the Rambam. I will talk in Ian to lean on what I think about the Rambam Shita. Hagav, I feel even nowadays in the Shtei Sibur, the Chazan is the one who's laning the Torah, right? The same halacha applies. I would say it applies whether the Shtei Sibur has a heart attack or whether the person getting the Aliyah, because both of them are integral in terms of being Yosef the Torah. So therefore, you have to go back to the beginning of the Aliyah and make a new bracha in the beginning and the end. Beza only likros b'Torah berach bracha shalfaneha. The Kar mixes psukim with pasuk with diber divrei Torah. He makes an Aliyah, he gets an Aliyah, and in the middle he starts to shmooth with his friend. Imagine that the guy he's doing a kriyas at Torah, he decides to leave in the middle and just go shmooth with his friend, whether it's divrei Torah or divrei chol. He talks about the news. Lo heavy hefsek. The halacha is, the Mordechai says, not a hefsek. He finishes his shmooze, he comes back, and it's not considered a hefsek. It's very hard to understand why it's not considered a hefsek over here. But you don't make a new bracha, and you continue reading, and he makes a bracha achrona, and everything is good. Gimel ha'olah likros b'Torah, v'hereu lo makom shesarich likros. They show him the place where you're going to read, and you kiss the Sefer Torah. A lot of the meaning of people. Uberech al Torah, hischil likros. He made a bracha, and they began to read Kriyas Torah. Olo hischil. Or he made the bracha, they didn't even start yet. Skiru, and then they remembered, either in the middle of reading, and they read, we're in the wrong place. And then they roll the Sefer Torah to the place where, the correct place to read. Some say, you just rely on the first bracha you made, even though you assumed it was a different parsha. And some say, the Beis Yosef says, argues on the Radah. I don't know what the Radah is, but he says, you have to go make a new bracha because your das was on one parsha and you're reading a new parsha. The psak halacha, the Mishnah Berurah says, is like the Yesh Omrim, like the Beis Yosef, that you would have to go ahead and make a new bracha. That's the conclusion of today's share. Stay tuned for Ian to lean on when we talk about this halacha aleph. The Rambam says the person is unable to continue. He has a heart attack. He leaves. He needs to get a drink of water. So you have to go back to the original place and make a new bracha. The new person in the Ola who's replacing him. The Rambam says you don't have to make a new bracha. You just continue where you were. I will explain to the Rambam and what I think, whether the psak should be like the Rambam or not. Ian to lean on coming up next.